Welcome, everyone, to the Everything Show, episode 738. I am your host, Matrix Lord 212, and I'm with Scott. What's up, Scott?
Mega cool from QT.
What's up, Chris?
Hey, what's up?
Okay, so what Star Wars stuff do we have?
Well, there was some pretty good episode 8. There was one big episode 8 story today. This was coming from Ryan Johnson himself. Apparently...
Sally? Sorry, Chris. What's up, Sally?
Hello.
Okay, Chris.
So apparently episode 8 is going to be starting right where episode 7 left off.
Nice.
There's going to be no time skip like there normally is with Star Wars films. So apparently that scene is going to pick up right where it left off in episode 8.
So technically you could piece it together if you really wanted to do a nice edit and just run it right through.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice. Okay.
I thought he was talking about the cartoon for a second. I thought, oh, that's going to be awesome.
So she's basically, and then the lightsaber and just continues on the dialogue and stuff.
I'm assuming that's what's going to happen, yeah.
Okay. I like that idea.
Yeah.
Personally. Now, it's completely done, right?
It's not completely done yet, no. They finished principal photography. They still have to do post-production.
Okay. And Rogue One will not have the title sequence.
Well, they're discussing it right now. They're leaning towards not having it, but I have a very funny feeling they're going to have one.
I think they're going to have it because people are going to get confused, like the newer fans, what the hell's going on, and you got to show that I mean, I understand they can't show episode, like what episode it is, unless they do an episode 0.5 or something.
No. All they have to do is they can have in the beginning. They could have a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Right. Star Wars can come up, but instead of seeing episode something, it just says one.
Okay,
and that's it. Because honestly, let me just say this. I mean, you saw the trailer.
It's not an episode, right?
Yeah. No, it's not. But anybody who saw the new leaked trailer, after that hits the web, nobody's going to get confused.
Right.
Because of what happens at the end. It's going to be like, okay, I know what's going on.
Right.
Even for people who aren't keeping up with it.
Bless you. Right. Do you think that Star Wars Rogue One will have the box office dominance that Force Awakens had?
I don't know if it's gonna do as well, but I think it's probably gonna make a huge amount of money. Like
it's gonna make a profit, but it's not gonna
draw people in. But yeah, I agree, it's not gonna be that.
I mean, is that what they're banking on? I mean, are they seeing billions of dollars, or are they just seeing as long as it turns a profit?
To tell you the truth, I'm assuming that they're probably gonna hope that it makes a huge amount of money. Honestly, I don't think that they're expecting Force Awakens, because from what I'm hearing, they're not even expecting Episode 8 to do that. They've kind of got their priorities straightened with this, and they understand that the reason Episode 7 did what it did was because prior to this, there was nothing good Star Wars coming out,
right?
Except for Clone Wars and Rebels was on, but there was nothing good Star Wars coming out. When this came out and it looked this good, it went through the roof, and many analysts that look at these things say you're never going to see this again. This is a once in a lifetime thing. That's why too, when they said just because this movie didn't make as much money as Avatar or Titanic, I think they even said those two movies didn't do what this movie did before it came out.
Right.
I can see it making its money back. But I agree. As far as doing a Force Awakens payoff, no.
Yeah. I think it's going to be huge, though. I really do. I don't think it's going to be we made a little bit of a profit.
Force Awakens huge?
No.
But here's the thing. Isn't this supposed to be like the Empire Strikes Back of Star Wars? Isn't it supposed to end on a sad note? It's supposed to...
What, Rogue One or Episode 8?
No, Episode 8, actually.
Both of them are supposed to end badly.
Okay.
For the heroes, because when you really think about this, Rogue One, they said it ends I think 10 minutes before Episode 4 or something like that. Like, it's a very short amount of time before episode 4. As far as episode 8, we don't know how it's going to end. Personally, I think it's going to be like you said. I think Luke and Leia are going to die. I think that the new characters are going to be left with nobody to turn to. Right. And then episode 9, they're going to have to resolve it themselves. I think that would be the best way to go.
But I think with Rogue One, what's going to happen is the ultimate mission's going to be accomplished, that they get the Death Star plans to the rebels, but they don't get free themselves. Like, I think that it'll probably end with Darth Vader killing them all, or basically with the lightsaber, and the girl hero is probably going to die, probably.
That's something I wanted to talk about, too. Despite what we've heard, I'm starting to get the feeling Vader's not going to be in this for very long.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, probably just
I don't think that
hi, folks, I'm here, and bye.
I don't think they changed it. I think that was always the plan going forward, because I kind of looked back onto some of the news stories that were doing it, and I started to realize a lot of them were just speculation.
Oh, come on, man. Why bring him back after all this time and have him in it for life?
It's supposed to take place before episode 4.
Yeah, but why can't we see enough screen time with Darth Vader? I mean, people have been clamoring for this.
This is why. They said it themselves, too, and I understand why.
They don't want to ruin it.
No, that's not that. They don't want this to become his story.
Whose story?
Vader. They do not want
story.
But it's not his story.
Yes, hold on.
It's going to be like Vader Part 1 or Part 2, and so.
But this is what they said, and Edward said this himself, and Kathleen Kennedy. When Kathleen Kennedy said it, that's when I started to say, okay, I kind of see where they're coming from with this. They said, if we have Vader in this movie for a huge amount of time, what are people going to remember about this movie?
Vader.
What do we want people to remember about this movie?
The rebels.
And the plans.
They stole the plans and all that.
There you go.
Yeah.
He will overshadow the whole story.
Now, we know he's definitely in it. He's definitely in the movie. Okay? He definitely shows up in the movie, not as a hologram. He's there as a physical presence. He's there with Captain... I'm going to say his name wrong because I haven't memorized his name, but with Grand Admiral McKinnon, whatever his name is, or Krennic, I'm sorry, Grand Admiral Krennic. We know that they want this Grand Admiral to be the villain. This guy is apparently, because they cast Ben Mendelsohn, who's a very well-known actor. They cast him in this role because they want him to be a very, very good villain, and I think he's going to do that. I personally think he's going to be the one who's doing all this. Vader is going to be there and being like, you're not doing this right, you're failing, you better do. I think Vader could kill him in this movie. I really do. I think that might be what Vader does. But as far as I'm starting to lean away from the possibility of seeing Vader like he was in Lords of the Sith. And to tell you the truth, I'm not really too upset about it, because I see where they're coming from, because they want this to be about these characters. But if Vader shows up and he's got a huge part, people are going to be like, yeah, Vader, that was great.
No, but why not?
You got the prequels that are basically the lead up to who he becomes. So if they have Rogue One with him again, it's going to be like, oh, this is part 2 to the prequels.
That's exactly what they don't want.
But the thing is that he is with the Emperor. They have to stop the rebels from stealing the plans. He would have to be a big part of the movie. Why?
I might have him for like the latter third of the movie where they, like he said, it's going to end like maybe 5-10 minutes to when.
He should be a big part of the movie. I mean, honestly, if there's a threat for someone having the Death Star plans, you would think the Emperor would send Vader to get it.
Well, this is the thing, though, right? And we're starting to see this too in Rebels, and that was another thing. Somebody asked one of these producers or whoever I don't remember who it was exactly. They said, "Are we going to see characters from Rebels possibly show up in Rogue One?" And she said, I'm not going to say that directly, but she said, but this was her answer. This was very telling to me. She said, we are very aware that Rebels and Rogue One take place at around the same time. So this is what I'm thinking.
Ooh.
Since they know that, obviously they do, it makes sense as to why Vader is not in Rogue One a lot. Because if you've kept up at Rebels, you know he's after them right now. The Emperor sent him after them because they are the bigger threat, because they have 2 Jedi on their side, one of which could possibly be a very, very powerful Jedi in Ezra. We also know that Darth Maul is with them as well, kind of. That he wants to train.
Because I saw the trailer for the upcoming that series, and I love it.
Hell-bent. Darth Maul is hell-bent on destroying Palpatine. That is his goal right now.
What are the odds? Let me ask you a question. Yeah. What are the odds that they basically make a decision to make a movie about having the rebels in a live-action movie showing the fates of those Jedi that Darth Vader goes? It won't be resolved in Rebels, but it will be resolved in a movie.
Very slim.
Yeah.
Really?
Dave Filoni does not want to do he's in charge of Clone Wars and Rebels. He does not want to do a live-action film of Rebels right now. They've asked him that, and he said, yes, I would like to do a live-action film, but no, it would not be about Rebels, because Rebels, the medium, he said, works in cartoon rather than in a movie. And
you can get away with so much more. You don't have to worry about you're not so dependent on CGI, and which would knock the cost up on top of that.
And James Earl Jones is obviously the voice of Darth Vader in Rebels.
Yes, yeah. And another thing, too, about Rogue One possibly not having as much Vader, I'm not saying I don't think – I could be wrong. I could be way off the bat, and he could have a fight scene where he wipes out everybody. And
that's what I'm thinking is going to happen. Honestly.
But I have because this was something else that they started bringing up. I'm seeing a lot of people saying, and people from Disney as well saying, how do we reconcile how Vader would fight in this movie, where a couple of days later he's barely holding up with Obi-Wan?
Yeah,
that's not true though. Barely hold with. Wait a minute, that's not barely. That's
he seems
not
stiff. I mean,
go back and watch episode 4, right?
Yeah,
they're having a hard time possibly reconciling how we could have Vader wipe everybody out in this one scene, and then when he's fighting Obi-Wan, he doesn't just kill him outright.
Maybe at the end of the Rogue One, he gets messed up or something.
No, see, that's the problem. They don't want it. I don't think they want to touch Vader like that. Because you got to remember, when it comes to these stories, and they said this before they made any of these anthology films.
Right.
These are not films about the Skywalkers. That includes Vader.
Right, all right.
Have the episodes for Vader, for Luke, for Leia, for Ben Solo, for all these other characters. This is everybody else.
Okay.
What I'm worried about now is that you're going to have a Godzilla situation where they're going to show Vader in the trailer, and people are going to think, this is about Vader.
Movie.
And then they're going to go see it, and when Vader's not in it, they're going to say, this movie's horrible because Vader's not in it. And when they don't know that this was not made for Vader.
Right. I don't know.
So personally, I think he's gonna. We know he's definitely in Rogue One, but what I'm saying is, don't be surprised if he's not like wiping out battlefields of people in this movie.
Like I said, I'm thinking he's in that latter half. I mean, yeah, you'll sneak peek him through the movie, but he's probably going to be primarily near the end of the movie where, like you said, it's supposed to take place within like X amount of minutes before 4. I see that happening more than that.
Yeah. I think, like you just said, Scott, I think there's a good chance of Vader being in the movie as maybe he's on a hologram thing or something for the most part. And then at the end of the movie, when Krenin, I don't know how to say his name, I can't remember. When he fails, Vader shows up. I think maybe he kills him.
Right.
And he says, I'll do it. I'll do it myself. And then you see him walk into the ship, and then you see the Star Destroyer chasing after Leia's ship. And then you're supposed to go watch episode 4.
And then do what they did with the prequel to the thing.
Yeah. I think that's what's going to happen, honestly.
What about you, Sally? What do you think?
I mean, so far, I understand why they're doing it looks like they're doing what they're doing. I understand where they're coming from.
Right.
Because you don't want Vader to overshadow the whole story. And people would be like, I thought this was a Vader movie. Wait a minute. Where is he? You know? So I can understand why people are confused.
All right. Was there any other Star Wars stuff throughout today?
I don't remember any. I know that a lot of what they're talking about is reactions from having Admiral Thrawn in Rebels. Very, very, very positive. I was saying this too. I think that he's going to be in a movie, probably an anthology movie, in between 6 and 7.
Cool.
Probably
Thrawn?
Yeah.
Okay.
It wouldn't surprise me at all.
That's interesting. In other news, now, Sally, you got me into Stranger Things, right?
Yeah.
On Netflix. Somebody else, though, I thought it was Scott, but there was somebody else besides you.
About Stranger Things, you told me about it.
Somebody else told me that today, because that's what it was. Like, somebody told me, then you told me, and then we were like, well, we were looking for something to watch, me and Sharon, and we were like, oh, Sally told me Stranger Things, and I forget who the person was. I thought it was Scott, but anyway, so we watched it.
I'm a Stranger Thing, I admit, but it wasn't.
Yeah. But I got to tell you, Winona Ryder, we were talking about her, and we're like, where the hell time warp did she go into that we haven't seen her for ages? And then she pops out this series on Netflix. You know, it's set in the 80s, right?
The 80s,
83. And I'm watching this with Sharon, and I'm like, I see them doing the rotary, you know, because I remember those, you know, and I'm like, there was no 911 as far as I remember with the rotary. Like, I remember there was an operator, you know, for the 911, you know, 0. So I'm like, that's not right. And she's like, just enjoy the movie. Just enjoy the movie. And then I'm like, there was no speed dial because she went to dial her husband, and it was two rolls around the thing. I guess they didn't want to wait for the 9 times that it goes around. But I'm like, no, it doesn't. And she's like, just watch it. What is it? What? I'm like, but you don't understand. I'm like, you don't understand. And then she's like, and they're like, then the answering machine picks up, and I'm like, but there was no answering machines with rotary phones. Shit, just freaking just stop and watch it. But I was like, it was not such thing. There was no answer. They didn't have the technology. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but there was no technology with the rotary phone and an answer machine. It just wasn't. They didn't have that digital thing, right? I mean, there was no. You didn't have both, and they didn't even have like cordless phones then. So it was like, all right, they had the big walkie-talkies. You know, but that wasn't even really accurate either. I mean, it was like, I'm like, okay, Roger, yeah. But I was just, she's like, just enjoy it. I'm like, oh, right. But it was great. It was fantastic. But I had to pick those things. Just like when I saw Annabelle, and she's dialing 911, and it was like the 70s. I'm like, there was no 911. Like, what the hell? You know, but little mistakes there. But still, it was, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's an invasion of the body snatchers thing, or an alien, or a mixed breed, or cloning, or whatever thing that is, but we'll find out, I guess. Already up to episode 2, and I'm hooked, so I'm like, okay. So, you know, it's got those people from, like, E.T. that, like, looking to destroy everything, and the bad guy Men in Black people type of things, and
nice. It's
got... you know, the Goonie kids type of thing, you know, with the bikes and stuff.
Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one who thought Goonies.
What?
I'm glad I'm not the only one who thought Goonies.
You know, Goonie kids with the lights and the bikes and the E.T. park that they're riding down. And, of course, they had to throw somebody on a skateboard. I'm like, okay, yeah, 80s, right? You know, and they had to have the music that was like 80s music.
Oh,
like
God.
the theme, you know, like the theme. And I'm like, okay, all right. But it's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting indeed, watching that. So, I like it. I mean, Sharon fell asleep a little bit for the second episode, so we'll have to rewatch it a little bit. But hopefully, third episode we can get to tomorrow, I hope. Oh, actually, is Scream on tomorrow?
No, I think it's
It's
Tuesday.
at a weird time slot now, right? Yeah,
It moved to Tuesday because I think it was on Monday.
The ratings have been doing bad. They've been shuffling the screen. Hopefully we get a third season. We'll see. But I've enjoyed it. The only thing I've had a problem with this season a little bit is the fact that last season there was like people dying all the time, and this season,
it's like what, one person?
This season,
I think two.
There's 3 people that died, and it took like 7 episodes for that to happen or something, or whatever it was. So I'm like, oh, it's so dragged out. What's happening? But I guess they can't just have a killer all the time that just kills them all. It's like it's got to be like a whole dragged out. They don't know he's around or she's around or whatever they are, or 2 of them or whatever. But still, it's a good season. So
yeah.
I'm just hoping it goes. I know they can't drag it out too much more longer, but I hope it can go at least one more.
Yeah.
One more season. I know it's kind of like you really can't with that type of thing, but one more season will be fine with me.
It's like with the series Life. I'm glad they only had 2 seasons of that because I couldn't see how they could get a third out of it.
I'm hearing, that. What else? There was another series. There's a whole bunch of series starting on Netflix right now, I think.
Mm-hmm. There's Stranger Things. There's another one. I don't remember what the name of it is now.
Right. Did anybody else see
Lost in Space? That fell through.
Did anybody see Ghostbusters like I did or no?
Oh, yes. I saw it just before I went to at work the other day.
Okay. Yeah, I know you did. What did you think?
It was good. It was real good. And like I was been telling everybody, it's a matinee movie, but still they did it. They really did good justice. And they may not have crossed the streams, but that was just a low blow on their part.
Right. But I think they did that because they don't want it to be like a copy of the original. They did an original beginning, a totally different haunting, a totally different thing.
Yeah.
Besides having the proton packs, they had other technology, which basically, if there was a third Ghostbusters, Egon would probably have invented that stuff. They had a ghost chipper. They had they had a wide variety of things.
Yes.
Because
that's what was enjoyable about it.
The inventor, she loves inventing stuff, and that's all she does. She has no life. So she's been making, all these things and gadgets, and that's what really made it enjoyable. And then what I think people don't understand is that the ghosts are basically dead. So you can't kill something that
kill the pilgrim.
Basically, you can't kill something that's dead.
Yeah.
If you kill its energy, it goes back where it came.
I love those grenades. I love those grenades, and then I know I'm sounding like
those grenades and
that
the fists.
The one gal pulls out, I forgot about my little weapon. She pulls out those twin guns and just started.
There's ghost guns. There's ghost grenades. There's ghost chippers. There's that other thing that's like a what the hell? There was like so many, but I really enjoyed it, and I really thought that the budget was there.
That bear trap type of thing.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed the graphics were really.
Yes.
I enjoyed. Now, okay, mind you, the villain. Look, he's a villain for this franchise. Yeah. He's not Zul. He's not Gozer Gazarian. He's not Vigo, the Scourge of Carpathia, the Sorrow of Moldavia.
He was
I love that line.
He pretty much went totally in the mind, and
yeah, he's just some freakadeek, crazy deekity-doo bellhop scientist guy that creates this device that basically gives them energy to be in here. So again, he became the big bad, and basically used the logo as a form.
Okay, I'm just wondering if he didn't have a near death experience, and that's why he's doing what he's doing now.
I don't know, but the thing is that I get it, and I get that. Well, I'm not going to spoil the after credit scene, but there will be. Sony had made an announcement today and yesterday too that there is no doubt in their mind there will be sequels.
Like I said, I can see 3. I can see them actually getting a third one.
Yeah.
But don't go over 3, otherwise you'll just.
Well, the thing is, let's see how 2 does, because
yeah, I know.
The thing is that will there be a 3 after 2? I mean, that's the thing. I mean, we know already the villain of 2. Because don't spoil it, but
my lips are sealed.
Say the villain of the next movie. I don't know if you know that, Chris, but I'm not going to say it and spoil it.
Oh, I know all about it. That's why I'm not going to see it.
And Sally, you probably know already too, right? Or no?
Yeah, I know.
I've been checking.
All right, I'm going to spoil it then.
Okay, I'll just say this much. I've been checking Revereland every few days to see if somebody's,
right.
Zool
is basically the villain of the next movie and goes to the Gozerian and stuff. So unless they do it a little differently, which maybe make it like a 2-part movie, I don't know. I'll probably just stay 1 movie. And then I'm sure that the 3rd movie, I don't think they'll go with Vigo. I think they'll do a new villain. And then maybe Vigo would be 4 if they do a 4. But I do see it carrying on. And if you notice in the beginning of the movie, there was the Ghost Corpse Productions.
Yes.
Which means that there's going to be a Ghostbusters universe with other Ghostbusters.
Yes.
Because the government now helps out. So that's the whole thing, like a Men in Black of Ghostbusters.
Andy Garcia, I thought he did an excellent job as the mayor in this. I mean, he did just this perfect guy. And his
assistant was Saturday Night Live girl, too. She was phenomenal. Yeah. I like her. She's in all their movies, too. She was even in Melissa McCarthy's movie, The Boss. So, yeah. I definitely love the girls. I thought they were fantastic. The villain, the guy, he was all right. I wasn't really, all right. I'm not even going to pick at that.
I think that's the whole point. They made him just such this blah-looking guy that when you saw him, it's like, okay, we don't care what happens to him.
Right. Chris Hemsworth was great.
Oh, yes. Doesn't even know how to use a damn phone.
And it was nice to see Bill Murray and Annie Potts and Ernie Hudson and Sigourney Weaver in their cameo roles. That was pretty cool.
I loved Dan Aykroyd when he pulled up in the cab. He started calling it, no, that's this type of ghost. It's that type of ghost.
Yeah, like a hint, But this is a different universe.
Yes.
There are different characters. Those characters don't exist, I guess, in this universe. And except for Egon, because they had an Egon statue.
Yeah.
In Han, like he was a professor of this thing, So, but
yeah, like I said, this is a matinee movie, so go in it and just there to be enjoyed. And like I said, it will make it, if it hasn't already, it will make it. It's just like we're talking about Rogue One. It definitely will make its money back.
Yeah, I don't have a doubt in my mind that it will make its money back because I think that
it proves my point to where you go out, you make a good movie, and just allow the public to make it the great grandiose that it is. And this is what Ghostbusters has done. That's what Deadpool did too.
Right. We're already at $65 million.
And how much do they have to gain more to?
It has to be well over $144 million because $144 million is the budget. So if it does like 210. Then okay, or even 200. It basically even I would say 180. Which they're confident that they're going to do that. So okay.
So at least by what Saturday or Sunday?
Well, the thing is, the problem is that we're going up against Star Trek, and Star Trek
That's right.
Star Trek's probably going to be number 1. So the drop off is going to be 50%. Well, technically, it usually is, or more. So it's got to make a strong week before Friday. So we'll see.
I can see Star Trek making its first week, but the second week, I think it may go back to a 50-50.
Well, there's other movies, too, coming up. But I think that as long as it stays number 2, number 3 for a while, because the weird factor with the box office is that Tarzan kind of did a reversal.
It was a decent movie. I will say Tarzan was a decent movie.
It actually made, I guess it made a jump forwards. And it's already a success. It made back its $188 million budget. And it's actually doing better domestically now than originally was.
It was done, to me, like I said, I saw it on my site. And of the ones, I put it first, and then the one with Bo Derek second. But the otherwise, I think it was a lot better than the twin cartoon movies that were put out.
It's actually got staying power, Tarzan, and it's still not moving. Like, it's not dropping off at big percentage points. So it's a success, and there'll probably be a sequel.
And they did the origin just like they did Man of Steel.
Yeah, we were supposed to see that this week, but we'll probably see it during the week. No, again, I'm sorry.
I was going to say they did just like I said with the Man of Steel. They did they did his origin more or less as flashbacks, opposed to going, this is his story, spending like 15, 20 minutes of the movie leading you up to it. It pretty much set it up to where he had already returned to civilized society, and then was conned and manipulated to come back.
Right. Now, Chris, was there anything?
Samuel was perfect in his role.
Yeah, I still have to watch it. Chris, was there anything else about Shin Gojira? Was there some stuff today?
There was a rumor going around that apparently Toho had made a deal to get a limited release over here in December. But I haven't heard anything about it since. Other than that, I haven't heard much.
I mean, what is the release date? The 29th?
Yeah.
It's very close. I mean, it would be nice if they could have released it even here for a weekend.
That's what I was saying, yeah.
At least the end of July. I mean, I don't really know anything that's coming out that would be,
I hate saying this, but look at what month has like the very something that somebody really like, movies people really don't want to see, and probably just stick it there for a week to 2 weeks.
I mean, the release schedule. Let's just take a look at it quickly, because I think pretty much, let me see. Okay. All right, so Ice Age, Lights Out, and Star Trek Beyond.
Yeah, I saw
the absolutely fabulous the movie in limited release, I guess. So 4 movies basically coming out. And then the 29th is going to be Jason Bourne, The Nerve, which is supposed to be another movie, and Bad Moms. Another 3 movies.
I don't see Bad Moms. Bad Moms
will make money.
Good, but I don't see it above 3.
I think Jason Bourne takes that weekend.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah.
I think Jason Bourne, and then the Nerve, and then Bad Moms number 3. And then in August, we have Suicide Squad. So
yes.
And then this other movie, 9 Lives, whatever that is. And then Peach Dragon, Sausage Party, blah, 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 her. Well, basically,
the Peach Dragon trailer looks good.
I would release it August 19th because there's nothing really out. Yeah. Godzilla Shin Gojira. August 19th, August 26th, that would be good.
Well, that's when China's getting it, I believe.
Yes, so I think that's when it's perfect to release it here, because the only competition it would have would be Ben-Hur.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's really crazy about a remake of that. War Dogs and Kobo and the Two Strings, whatever the hell that is. And that's an animation. And then the 26th is Mechanic Resurrection, which I don't really think anybody's crazy about. Hands of Stone, which is a boxing movie, and then another horror movie called Don't Breathe. So I would go with Gojira.
Yeah, I heard that one. I can't remember what it's about now.
Yeah, I would go with a Shin Gojira.
That's that one that takes place primarily in the dark.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Lights Out, that's what I want to see. That looks creepy, the horror movie. So, all right, people, that is it for the Everything Show. So take care. Bye for now.